The one thing Donald Trump wanted more than anything else in the world this week was to see his two political enemies in the state of Georgia fall to his challengers. Those two candidates, of course, were Brian Kemp, who is the incumbent Republican governor who survived his primary. The other is Brad Raffensperger, the Republican Secretary of State of Georgia, who also survived his primary. See, Donald Trump had endorsed their opponents, but in the case of Brian Kemp, Trump actually convinced David Perdue to run against him. So this wasn't just Trump endorsed, the opponent. Trump's the guy that made Perdue even run in the first place. And he lost. He lost by a lot. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens of percentage points difference between Brian Kemp and David Perdue. It wasn't even close. Raffensperger also didn't have to sweat anything. He won very easily. So what does this mean for Donald Trump, right? There's been at least 3 different op-eds that I've already seen that say, oh, Trump's power's gone. He's gone. Look, everybody knew this was going to happen. Not to mention, Donald Trump endorsed Herschel Walker, who also won his primary in Georgia. So it wasn't a total wash for Donald Trump, which, by the way, is exactly what I predicted for quite some time now. A lot of us did, because it was obvious. But here's the thing. Trump's power has not changed, okay? Georgia doesn't change any of that. Georgia does teach us a lesson, and I will get to that in a moment. But Donald Trump still has the same fail success rate with endorsing people as he's pretty much always had. He's never been a kingmaker. So I don't know why all these media outlets are suddenly saying, oh, his status as kingmaker is being destroyed. He never had that. You put that title on him. He put that title on himself. Y'all ran with it. And now you're realizing, oh, crap, maybe we shouldn't have just taken his word for it because the guy lies all the time. So what does Georgia tell us, right? Because Trump went there, he campaigned, he rallied, he endorsed, he actually spent some of his money, which the guy never does, hasn't done since then, didn't do it before it, but he spent some in Georgia to beat Brian Kemp. He was all in on this. Here's what it tells us. It tells us that not all these voters care about Donald Trump's 2020 election lies. Now that could end up becoming a problem for Donald Trump. Because let's remember, the only reason he wanted Kemp and Raffensperger out of office is because they wouldn't go along with his election lies and give him the state's electoral college votes. They wouldn't break the law to do that for him. So he went on this crusade against them, and the voters in the state said, dude, we don't care. We really, truly, honestly don't care. That's a problem for Trump. Because that's all that man has. All he has today are those lies about the 2020 election. That's all he's about. That's all he can do. And if the voters aren't buying into it anymore, I know polls show a majority of Republicans still believe the lies, but polls also show that the same majority of Republicans don't want to talk about it anymore. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want anybody to be campaigning on that because they're tired of it. And I think they're tired of it because deep down they probably know it's a lie. If Trump continues to push these 2020 election lies, then it will eventually hurt him. Then his power will wane. But you can't read too much into what happened in Georgia because this was all very predictable. You'd have to go to an unpredictable race, have him interject the same kind of energy and see what happens there. Georgia, everybody's been predicting it correctly for months now. So, yes, it's great that Trump lost. We still have horrible Republicans in Georgia, so it's not like Brian Kemp is good. So, not exactly a victory for anybody else either. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.